Will there be a current gen version of NBA 2K23? I know this is a huge question that a lot of players are asking out there because they still have yet to get their hands on a next gen console. So there's a ton of players that are left behind. There's an extremely high demand for next gen consoles. So I know a lot of you guys are wondering whether or not NBA 2K23 will be released on current gen consoles. And if so, will 2K be creating two different versions of the game, similar to how they created NBA 2K22. Hopefully by the end of this video, you guys have the answer you're looking for. What's good, AllCity fam? I'm AllCity, and thank you for tuning in. If you guys are looking for players to run with on NBA 2K22, come on out and join our Discord. We'd love to have you. This is definitely going to be an interesting video, so hopefully guys can see it through. And although we haven't received direct confirmation from 2K whether or not there will be two separate versions of NBA 2K23, one for current gen and one for next gen, there are ways around this to help us narrow that answer down. We're finna put on our thinking caps, maybe even put on our bunny ears so we can keep our ear to the street and find out whether or not 2K23 is going to release two separate versions. NBA 2K23 sits on the horizon. We're only a couple of months away from them actually releasing content about NBA 2K23. We usually receive our first bits of content late June, early July. So I think it's a viable question whether or not players are going to have a current gen and next gen version of NBA 2K23. Now it's guaranteed that next gen consoles are definitely going to get a next gen version of 2K23, but the best way to find out if current gen is going to receive its own separate version is to follow the money. If you guys don't know, the developers responsible for creating the current gen version of NBA 2K22 were previously known as Hookbang. 2K acquired Hookbang and created Visual Concepts Austin. Although Hookbang has offered support in creating previous versions of 2K, NBA 2K22 was the first year that Hookbang became a part of Visual Concepts and were the sole developers behind the creation of NBA 2K22 on current gen. So trying to figure out whether or not NBA 2K23 is actually going to have a current gen version of the game, I think it was best to follow Hookbang, to follow Visual Concepts Austin, and see how much 2K is actually investing in Visual Concepts Austin. But before that, we need to figure out and understand from a business perspective, how well did NBA 2K22 do? And NBA 2K22 did tremendously well. NBA 2K22 tops the US charts for 2021. As you guys see here, it says the latest report has NBA 2K22 as the top selling title in the US for 2021 releases. The reason why that information is important from a business standpoint is that if it ain't broke, they ain't gonna be finna try to fix it. So having two versions of the game was extremely successful for 2K. To add to that, it's been confirmed that Visual Concepts is about to spend $6.5 million on 58,000 square feet to build up the Visual Concepts Austin office, which is responsible for creating the current gen version of NBA 2K22. So that leads us toward the idea that they're investing heavily into this new studio, Visual Concepts Austin, and that new studio is actually responsible for creating current gen versions of NBA 2K. When a game performs this well, it usually means great things for the future. And considering the idea that 2K22 was at the very top of sales for the US, now we know next gen is going to be where the main focus is going to be by the main developers, Mike Wang, you know, the usual developers. But when we gathered the information that we have in regards to sales and the investment into Visual Concepts Austin's new office, where 2K plans to employ hundreds of developers, it is almost all but certain that current gen users will have their own version of NBA 2K23. It seems to be that having two separate versions of the game, although it separates the community, proves successful for 2K. And what proves financially successful for 2K means that we should see more of it in the coming years. So although we haven't received a direct confirmation on whether or not 2K will have a current gen and next gen version of the game, when you follow the money will give you the answers. I know a lot of players are curious about the PC version of the game, as PC currently supports the current gen version of 2K. I believe that's what they'll be doing for NBA 2K23. That's just my opinion. I'm not absolutely sure about that, and there hasn't been confirmation from 2K on the PC PC version of the game as well. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful, informative, or even interesting, and if you did, please consider dropping a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, as we intend to have a ton of 2K22 content coming your way. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.